All right, so as you know, we've got a good topic to cover today. We're gonna do introductions, and then we'll get on with our main topic, which is the NFL draft, which is just a really cool, kind of lighter subject compared to what we've been talking about lately. And then if we have time at the end, I've asked Selena, if she is here, if she can show up. She's working, yay! And she's working with Microsoft. I just want her to kind of give us an overview of what she's doing. What is she doing, and how can we do what she's doing? Like, what does it look like out there, right? So I'm hoping Selena will make it. But for now, I see Leah Taylor. For now, we'll just go through introductions, and I'll just go through my Brady Bunch grid. We'll do it real quick because this is a big call today. A lot of people. It's just, I'll call you out, and then you just give me your name, where you're from, and what you do, because there's a handful of new faces on here this week. So, I'm Nancy Spooner. I live in Encinitas. I am a corporate show producer, show caller, and deck manager. Encinitas, San Diego. Amy Murray.
Hi, I'm Amy Murray. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sorry, I'm switching so that I don't look like just a floating head. I am a producer and just got back from Dubai.
Wow.
Oh. And then Brian Rhea. Is that how you say your name? Rhea?
That is correct. Yep, Brian Rhea. I'm a producer, show caller, and first time joining, so appreciate the invite.
Here. Yay, Lisa, Tony.
Hi there, I'm Lisa Deer. I'm in Missoula, Montana, and I am a show caller, deck manager, room producer. And this is my husband.
Tony Crescenzo, also Missoula, Montana, believe it or not. I am a room producer and operations producer. I do not call shows, and I haven't deck managed in a while. So, but I still like all of you.
And you can install bidets.
And I'm apparently a very good bidet installer.
There you go. Jennifer Wells.
Hi, I'm from Houston, and I do graphics and video and some deck management.
Fabulous. Sandy Ross.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sandy Ross. I live in Las Vegas. I am a deck manager for corporate shows and an associate producer for a show here in Las Vegas.
Thank you, Sandy. And Jennifer, I just realized you said graphics and producing and show calling.
Yeah, graphics, video editing, and show calling. Yeah.
That's a lot of hats.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cool hats. Good for you. All right, Lori Clark.
Yes, hello all. I live in Half Moon Bay, which is south of San Francisco, and I am a show caller, producer, deck manager, content manager for corporate communications, television, blah, blah, blah.
Sweet. Miss Newbon.
Hi, I'm Michelle Newbon. I live up in Northern California in a little place called Nevada City, and I'm a content manager. And there's a lot of things that fall under that: script supervisor, graphics producer, content producer, all things content. That's me.
All right, Julie.
Hey, I'm Julie Van Loo. I'm here in San Diego. I do more producing and production management on commercials for television than live event stuff, but I jump in wherever I can. So,
thank you. Robin Rump.
Hey, I'm Robin Rump still, and I live in New York City. And I'm a stage manager, show caller, stage manager, show caller, stage manager, show caller.
Thank you, Robin. Kara.
Hey guys, I'm Kara Toussaint. I'm from Los Angeles, but I live in Raleigh, North Carolina right now, and I'm a producer.
Thank you. My other Jennifer York.
Hi guys, nice to see you. I am a producer. I do not call shows because it makes my heart race. I don't do graphics. I am currently back on a show doing the digital version for ServiceNow, and I'm actually going to be starting on a Microsoft show. I think next week, the one that was happening in Las Vegas that got canceled. So I'm doing the digital versions of both right now.
Cool. So Jennifer, I would like to talk to you too. If you could tell us after this call, what's going on? Like, how are you doing, and what's your world look like? Because
insanity. This is the first day I haven't worked an 11 or 12-hour day in like since I saw you guys.
We haven't seen you in a while, so yeah, I'm glad you're here because I think we would all like to come here.
Buried. It's
sorry.
It's putting down the train tracks as the train is barreling at you.
Yeah, understood.
But it's fun. It's great. I'm having a great time.
All right. Well, we might circle back to you because I want to hear that. And then I think also at the end of these calls, we'll save a little time for asks because I have an ask. I have an opportunity and I need some help. So we'll throw that out there at the end of these calls too, if there's time. All right, Rivka, nice to see you. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. Okay, hi, I'm Rivka Kamenetsky. Very nice to see you too. I am a meeting planner, producer, and stage manager, just depending on the program.
All right, you're in LA, right?
I am in Los Angeles, yeah.
Okay. Kuzniar.
Hello, I'm Chris Kuzniar. I'm in Huntington Beach and I'm an event producer.
Thank you. And then I see Christine. I don't know Christine. Welcome.
Hey. You're on mute, Chris. Still mute.
Still muted. She's cute though.
She's brilliant.
Oh, she disappeared.
Oh, no, she moved.
She moved. You're
She's
still
here?
muted, Christine.
She's,
I lost her.
yeah, she doesn't.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
There she is.
Hey.
There she is.
I apologize. You can't read lips, please. I'm a friend of Cindy Builders. It's my first time. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I'm coming from upstate New York in the lovely village of Rhinebeck. Hi, Robin.
Hi, honey.
And I'm a graphic of all kinds designer.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for joining us. So now that my Brady Bunch screen is moved, if I miss you, shout, and I'll make sure I pick you back up. Cindy Builders.
Hi, I'm Cindy Childers, a producer, show caller, and I'm from Dallas.
Got it. Lisa Bronick. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me. Lisa Bronnett. I live in Marina Del Rey. Kind of a bit of jack of all trades. I do a lot of content stuff, managing, tracking, all of that stuff. I also do room producing, which is how I worked with Nancy as well. Also US Open with you. But also hospitality, bit of everything. So
smart lady. Okay, Hillary Brown.
Hello. I am in Orlando, but I actually grew up in Half Moon Bay. So every time she says Half Moon Bay, I'm like, oh, yay, Half Moon Bay. And I am a producer and show caller, executive producer, dabble in a bunch of stuff, but mostly producer.
Fabulous. Leah Taylor, nice to see you. Oh, she's not muted, but your mic isn't working. We can't hear Leah. Connecting to audio. You're coming. It says connecting. Leah Taylor's from Nashville, Tennessee. She is a producer, and I don't know what you've been doing lately, so I can't finish until you're connected to audio. I think you're still in Nashville. She can sing. She's got a couple sisters, and they're like the best country act.
Get out. Really?
She's still not getting her voice. Sorry, Leah. I'm going to skip you, but work on it. Just keep talking, and when you jump in, no one will know you're here. All right, so I show next Carol. I don't know if I know Carol. You got birds behind you.
You're muted.
There. Hello,
Hi,
I'm Carol. I'm a producer and EP, and I work after 20 years in the Bay Area, and I live in San Diego the last 5 years.
Oh my gosh, what's your last name?
Bailey Carone. So.
Oh, it's Carol Bailey. I didn't recognize you, Carol. Hi,
Yes,
Carol.
and
Good to
years
see
and
you.
years. Hi, Lori. I saw you pop
Hi.
up. Hillary.
Awesome.
And KK. So tons of
Aw.
people. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here, Carol. I can't even recognize you. You're kind of pixelated with your birds.
Yeah. Well, it's better than the actual thing. So pixelated. Yeah.
I like it. All right, Julia Mitchell.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Julia Mitchell, and I'm a producer, usually general sessions, but I kind of do everything. And I split my time between Mill Valley, Marin County, and I have a fishing cabin, which I'm at right now in Lewiston, which is Northern California.
Cool.
And I'm dealing with a dog coming out of general anesthesia, so I'm over here on the couch taking care of him.
That looks awesome. You look like my cousin in South Dakota. That's what I thought when I saw that whole scene. I like it. Hey, Steve, welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me back. I'm Steve Evans. I am the proprietor of Show Imaging, and like everybody on this call, I've never worked so hard to try to get business and fail as I have in the last month. So,
Well, welcome.
Amen.
Amen. All right, Suzanne. Where'd you
Hi.
go?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Can you hear me
Just off
now?
my screen.
Yes.
Oh, I can totally hear you.
I'm Suzanne. I'm a producer, room producer, and I've been known to run on stage and drag talent off. So pretty much, whatever needs to be done.
She is fantastic at that.
Oh my gosh. She is fantastic at that. So we just jumped onto 2 screens. That's why I'm like, holy, we gotta get going. All right, Julia. Julia Thudium.
Hey there. My name's Julia Thudium. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am a deck manager, pretty much first and foremost, room producer, and when I get dragged into it, content coordinator.
And she's called a show or two for me on accident because I made her back in the day.
I did that too.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Cassie, come back. Steve Roush, is that your last name?
Yeah, Steve Roush. So thank you. I was kind of sideways invited into this meeting by Julie Van Lowe. I'm based in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Usually I am a technical person dealing with the cameras, the lenses, the playback, replay, things like that. But I'm getting more into some of the overall strategy and production for these live events.
Good. I'm glad you're here. And I love South Dakota. That's where my cousin is. That looked like girl in the fishing lodge. I loved it. With
Yeah.
Julia. The other Julia. Well, welcome, Steve. Glad to have
Thank
you.
you.
Hey, KK.
Hey, how are you? I feel the title list is getting longer. Technical director, production manager, assistant stage manager, camera caller, and general all around. What do you need? I can do it.
We love people like you. We need more like you. Thanks, KK. All right. I have to go to page 2. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people here. All right, Jennifer York. Wait, we did Jennifer. There's Rivka. Oh, now my page is messed up. Who I got left? There's a Jim Hurwitz.
Hey everybody, I'm Jim Hurwitz. I'm here in Mill Valley, California, not in a fishing cabin. And I'm came out of television news. In fact, I went to journalism school with that guy right down there back in the 80s, Steve Evans. And I think I shot some of his graduate thesis way back then. And I haven't seen him since he married one of my bosses. But hi, Steve. I left television news and started developing technology for the broadcast industry. Did that for a long time, worked for a bunch of companies, including Grass Valley there in Nevada City. And
Hey, I know Grass Valley. I live in Nevada City. Sorry, I just had to plug that. Thanks.
Oh, there you go. And now I'm back for the last 5 years or so. I'm back as an engineer and producer, and together with Lori Clark, who's also in there somewhere, right about there for me, we are putting together a telethon for raising money for the COVID victims here in the Bay Area. So that's a project we're working on. So that's why I'm interested in hearing how the NFL draft thing happened. So that's why I'm here.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Jim. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. All right. Lori Klein. Hi, sis.
Yay, Lori.
Oh, she's muted. Lori, you're muted.
There you go. I can talk now. Hi, everyone. I'm from New York, but right now I'm in Las Vegas, and I call shows, and I'm a deck manager. Yay, Lori.
I know. Yay, Lori. All right. So I see Kimmy Evans.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kimmy. I'm from Los Angeles, and I've actually been doing more coordinating and logistics managing over the past year and a half. But I also have done room producing and ASM work.
Okay, awesome. Did you come from Lisa?
Chris Kuzniar.
Oh, Kuzniar, not to be confused with Kimberly Evans, who's
so
awesome.
I've heard about her.
Yeah,
I've
she's
never
awesome.
met her, but I've heard great things.
she's on this list. I don't see her in the room. I don't think she's made the calls yet, but she's awesome. Good person to know.
Oh, good.
All right, we are moving right along. Who do I have still? I have Amy Wozniak, who's not showing her face. You there, James?
I'm trying to show my face. Something happened. Anyway,
Aw.
hello everyone. I know. I'm Amy Wozniak. I come from the great state of Texas. And thank you, Nancy, for doing these. I'm so happy. I've been trying to join forever, and this is the first one I've been able to make. So I am a room producer, EP, depending on who wants me and who loves me.
Amy's amazing. Amy runs a really tight ship. I love working with Amy.
I love you, Amy.
She's easy to love. All right, Salter.
Hi. I'm in a disclosed area. I can't tell you where I am. It's my brother's apartment building. It's not done. But anyway, my name is Heather Salter. I'm Swinner's great friend, and she and I have worked together for years and years and years. And I don't really, I don't have a title like the rest of you right now, but I have done a lot of video production, TV production, and I've assisted Nancy in a lot of live shows. So that's what I'm hoping to continue to do once we get back to normal life.
Sounds good to me. She has run the #1 rated East Coast barn wedding venue for the past 5 years in New Hampshire, but that's nothing. Moving on, Heather. Steverson, look at that. Hey, Chris.
Oh
You're
my
muted.
God, Chris,
Unmute yourself, Chris. You're muted. I'll unmute you.
Introducing ourselves.
There you go. Yeah, where are you from? What do you do? Real quick.
I'm presently calling in from Park City, first time listener, long time fan. We've known each other, Nance and I, since 2002. Yeah, probably. Very much cut from the same cloth originally. Lots and lots of sport production, 6 Olympic Games, Red Bull, NCAA, blah, 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 blah. Same as everybody else.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm glad you finally made it. Hey, Barry. Barry.
Yes. Hey, howdy.
Love your headshot.
Thanks. Sorry, I'm super sweaty. I just finished a workout, so that's fine.
We've never seen you not sleep for 4 days and look kind of haggard, Barry.
Yeah, never. I'm always bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Was this the intro round? Is that what we're?
Yeah. Where are you from? What do you do?
I live in Austin, Texas. I work for Opus Agency. I'm the director of technical production there.
Who's your favorite TD? We need your TD. Christine Lustig made it.
Hey guys, thanks for letting me join you guys. I am an event planner for the last 10 plus years. Biggest event I've done to date is for Switchfoot Bro-Am. They do a charity event every year in June. That's pretty cool. And part-time graphic designer as well. So just joining to hear from you guys, the gurus.
Yay, thank you. I see 615. I think that's you, Leah. Is anybody else? Did I miss anybody else? We all good? Leah, are you back? Oh, Cassie, you're back.
Hi, sorry, I just had to run and meet someone who was picking up something they were buying from Craigslist. I'm Cassie, I live in Dana Point, California, and I'm a graphics op and a graphic designer. And hello to everyone I know.
Thank you. I know, it's a fun group, huh?
I know. So
well, that took a long time. We're gonna have
I was
to.
just thinking about this, Nancy, the other day. Like, how often does this happen where we all see each other like in one space? Because like, we're always like on shows, you know.
Never. Oh, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get to the meat of our session, and I'll figure out what we're going to do if we have groups like this, because I don't want to waste our. But I don't think we're wasting time. I like to know everybody here, but we'll figure something out. Moving on, Kara, this is your moment to tell us what you've been up to and what you do. Kara, gonna let her take the floor, but you guys, this is a conversation, right? So keep asking questions, talk to her, but she was part of the NFL draft, which, as you probably know, that it was one of the highest rated sporting events in a really long time on TV, and it was really cool. So what's up, Kara? Tell us what went down, and you have stuff to share with us too. Share.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to start off with a video that actually the local Raleigh news out here covered what we did, because it ended up being a bigger deal than I think anybody thought it would be, 55 million viewers or something like that. So I think I'm going to share my screen and play this video for you guys. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't make any mistakes, because Severson won't let me live it down, so. All right. Let me know if you guys don't get the audio.
Hey everybody, Mark Armstrong with sports. You know, the NFL draft was supposed to be in Vegas this past weekend and feature gondolas delivering the top picks to the stage. Coronavirus ended that party, and what we got instead was a much more homey and charming production, a good chunk of which was coordinated right here in Raleigh. Bob Becker is most at home when he's on the road.
My schedule during a normal year is on the road 240 days.
An executive VP at Van Wagner, Becker's life has completely changed because of the pandemic.
A lot of people I equate it to driving 100 miles an hour running into a brick wall, because all of a sudden it stopped.
Normally he's on site, but with this year's entirely virtual draft, so it's going to be a different draft. He and his 11-person team work from their office on Six Forks. Their job, coordinating all the coach and general manager camera feeds, as well as all the musical interludes.
When the Panthers are on the clock, we're feeding them, you know, the coach and the GM. When the Redskins, we flip over to them. Eagles, we flip over to them. So that was a big undertaking, gathering all those feeds, getting them into the building, and then getting them back out to ESPN in broadcast quality.
There was some reluctance at first from these notoriously paranoid NFL types.
The first few days, we had to call them and set up the shots, and you know, a lot of them were worried about audio being heard.
But then they started having fun.
Cliff Kingsbury from the Cardinals was setting shots for us. He's like, hey, let's take a shot from this angle so that people could see the mountains in the background. So they had some fun with it.
One delightful development was seeing the kids of the coaches and execs start crowding into the rooms to get on TV.
It happened organically, and you know what? It was a wonderful thing. It made us kind of all realize, wow, we could do these things at home. You know, we don't have to be shuttered in our offices all the time. Let your family be a part of it. It was actually a very human thing that came out of this draft, to see how they reacted with their families, and I thought it was a great thing.
Becker has seen it all during his lengthy career producing sports events, but this was a new and rewarding challenge.
There was one moment where we almost chartered a private plane just to get a piece of equipment here in Raleigh to put the show on time. We put a lot of faith in what we do, and a lot of faith in God above, and we did it. We put on a great product.
Yeah, I'm one of the many who actually thinks they should do the draft like this every year now going forward. That's it for sports. Back to you.
So hopefully I gave you guys just a little snippet of kind of
For generations, Benjamin Moore has been supporting small business owners.
Chris, you note for me for
that clue.
Next time. I just almost made it. But yeah, just a little video for you guys to see what we did, and then I'm kind of just going to go through what the experience was like from my position as a producer. Go into some of the tech stuff. I can't speak to a whole lot of that, but just so that we have some sort of an idea of kind of what we did over here. So our first step was just to contact we were hired by the NFL to contact all of the head coaches and GMs. So the NFL sent out the kits, so iPhones, ring lights, all the stuff that they needed. And then we called them, communicated with all of them. We set up times to test their feeds, make sure that we could see the shot that they had, change their shot if it wasn't very good, help them out, you know, to make them look good, and make sure they didn't have anything that would get in the way of NFL sponsorship. So if they had a Coca-Cola on the table, they had to get rid of it and use Pepsi or something like that. So that was kind of the main function of our job as producers. And then on the actual event days for the draft, I mean, that was probably like 3 or 4 days to set all that stuff up. And then on the actual event days for the draft, we would come in there were 4 producers, and we'd be set up, we would have monitors for each of our stations that would have all 64 feeds. So the head coaches and GMs for both teams, just in case there were trades or something like that. I mean, I may have been lined up to put the Detroit Lions on the screen, but you know, they may have traded with Cleveland, right? So we had a system where we could just go in and click each one of the teams, whoever we needed, we could just send those on a path. And then that path went to Bristol, Connecticut to give all of our feeds to ESPN. So they could take like the next 3 or 4 teams that were potentially gonna, you know, that were gonna draft next, and we had those all sent to ESPN, so they're ready to go. And part of that was done with a various number of systems. We worked with a group out of the UK. They're called Sienna, and also QuickLink, which is out of the UK. So, which is kind of similar to Zoom, I guess. You know, they really helped us out where we would take all of the feeds from the coaches. They would come into us here in Raleigh. The live stream would actually go to a hub that was in Oklahoma City, and then from Oklahoma City it went through this company DTags, which is like a point-to-point system for us. So that would be sent out to ESPN. We also had a system called Larix, L-A-R-I-X, which is good, but it's only a one-way system, so we can only send information one way. And in order to send it in both directions, we needed DTags, and using QuickLink as well was helpful for that. So again, I don't know all the ins and outs of how that technology communicates, but I just know that what we had used, and kind of if there were any issues who we had to go to, whether it was a QuickLink issue or DTags or whatever. But they all worked out really well for us. We were lucky that we didn't have a whole lot of delay in the feeds that went out. There was a delay in the beginning of like 2 seconds, which I said on the last call, you know, 2 seconds doesn't seem like much, but when you're having somebody speak, it's painful to sit there and wait for 2 seconds. So they figured out the delay, which was nice, before the draft actually started. And then we were able to do things like we produced all the graphics behind the commissioner that were on the screens at his house. So it's kind of nice to see that even though we're at our homes or we're in offices with very few people and doing events remotely, that we still can produce content and send it to whoever we're doing events for. So it's not just the live streaming, it's, you know, we can still make videos for people. We can still make graphics that can be playing on screens behind them in their homes or wherever they might be. So that's kind of exciting too. It doesn't kill the content altogether. You know, we still have other avenues where we can use that stuff. And then it's kind of interesting to see like these new virtual avenues that we are going to have with, you know, being able to produce graphics and being able to create videos. We can also produce, you know, using, like we had all of our headsets and stuff that we could communicate with Bristol and with everybody all over the country. So, you know, you can still put on a show remotely, which is really cool. And we, you know, for the draft we used, for going back to headsets, for the draft we used this cloud-based system where we could speak to everybody we used our own Readle comms in our office and connected to ESPN and everybody on comms that was through a conference number. And the only problem was that the conference number would only last for 4 hours. So you would have to, everything would close down, and then everybody had to call back in to this conference line to communicate with everyone, which was terrifying during a live broadcast where millions and millions of people are watching, that, you know, for minutes we weren't in communication with ESPN or anybody on the show at all. So that was a little scary. But then for the NFL selection show, which we worked with NFL Network, we used an app called Unity, and you can actually download it on your phone, and it just works on your iPhone. And actually I can show it to you guys. It's just like this. It's just called Unity, and it's like a little face, and he's got like a little headset on. And you download that, and all of our comms were through that. So we would talk to Culver City through NFL Network via our iPhone, and that was our comm system. So there are some kind of cool ways that you can produce shows, it seems, remotely. And I mean, you do need the technology for it. I mean, we have switchers and stuff out of our office here. We can record with KeyPros or Blackmagic machines or whatever. So, I mean, you do still kind of need some sort of technology, but it's cool to see that, you know, you can use headsets and stuff through an app that you can download through the App Store. So, kind of some cool options, and, you know, maybe that'll help us do things like if we do local high school graduations, you know, or media days with some of our clients that they want to do these remote media days. Special events like the draft, or even corporate events, Nance. I mean, I think they could still do, you know, you use something like Unity and Quick Link. I mean, maybe you could link together a bunch of people and do, you know, all your communication with your team through Unity or something like that. So it's kind of exciting to see some new things that are coming up, and some things that we can work on in the future. So it's kind of neat.
I love it. I love the fact that you had to, the intercom system had to go down. I don't love it.
Yeah.
But the first thing my husband said was like, why? And I wonder why they couldn't fix it, you know, but that's not my wheelhouse, but that's fascinating to me. But the second time when you guys did the schedule, you guys had it fixed because you used a different software?
Yeah, we used a different platform, yeah, which seemed to be a lot better.
Ooh, that poor first platform. Gotta have it right the first time.
Yeah,
wow. Because if you guys saw Dan Wagner's, I would call it the sizzle reel that I put in our email, it's so stinking impressive what they do. And I mentioned I brought you on, Kira, because you've seen our side, the corporate side, and you've been on the deck and you've produced shows with me, and then you go and do sports. And so what was your people connection? When like last week I said, I'm a people person, I'm not a technology person. I'm writing notes for technology because I need to know this stuff. But sometimes I'm an ostrich and I rely on the Barrys of the world. Thank you, Barry and Steve, for getting me through stuff like this. What was the people connection? I know you mentioned that you had an IT person in every single home for every GM, and you had GM and who else did you guys have?
Yeah,
coaches?
GMs and head coaches. So yeah, I mean, our people connection was working with IT at first to set them up. But then on the event days, you know, sometimes you would talk to a coach who would log in and be like, hey, I'm here, IT guy isn't here, you know, whatever. And actually for the selection show, it was much more personal, because we would get the feed that would come in, and then we'd send it to NFL Network. And the coaches are super nice, you know, it's really seeing that they're just like everybody else. And they're like, hey, you know, does my hair look good? Like, you know, they're worried about the same things that everybody else is. And they were super nice. You know, we would just get on there and be like, hey, coach, how you doing? And walk through the process of what we needed to do. But I think, you know, you get to meet different people, and whether it's the IT or the actual head coach or the GM, and you know, they're super nice. I was excited for NFL Network. I got to talk to Al Michaels, and he went to Arizona State, which is my alma mater. And we got to talk, we were just talking about ASU and going to school there and stuff. So I think it's a cool, you know, there's still a lot of cool human connection stories. And if you know, you have like this quick link system where all these feeds are coming into you, like you're still talking to them and letting them know, hey, you're gonna go on air, like everything's good, you look fine, your setup's great, you know, you still have that whole thing before, it's almost like before you send them on stage, you know.
You're the deck manager. We were talking, Barry was saying, or Steve, like there's still that floor manager in television, or the deck manager in corporate. That's what I said, I can calm anybody's ass down backstage. Like that's my superpower, right? I love to calm you down, I love to fix your tie, like, and so there's still that aspect.
I think ideally that job is being held, what I'm learning all week long is being held by producers, but eventually they have to go back and do their own producing job. And I think that's when we're going to slip back in, that the deck managers are going to come back and hold that position.
Yeah, I think you're right. Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for Kara?
have a question. So what was the latency? I think you cleared up, so it was like a 1 second latency delay?
2 seconds.
So it stayed 2 seconds. That's as good as it got.
No, it did get better. It got down to like almost nothing. It seemed like it was live.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but at first 2 seconds, and it was brutal. That was what was happening during all of our rehearsal days. And then
what did you do to make that? I mean, why did it change? What did you guys do?
We have Nate McCourt is our tech genius, and he figured out how to, just played with it until.
Yeah, set the delays. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really good TD, Nate.
Question. What was the, Kara, what was the communication between all of the people in the coaches' houses and the players? You know, you said you had someone everywhere. What was the communication between all of them?
Honestly, it was just text messaging. It was really funny. We would just and be like, hey, can you get your feet up, and, can you get coach on the screen and whatever, and they would get it all set up or turn the camera on. And, at first the coaches and the GMs, which is totally understandable, they didn't want to have the audio on their phones, because they're like, no, we don't want to hear us making trade deals and talking to teams and all that kind of stuff. So we had to calm them down that the audio, we're not picking up every single thing you're saying. It's just the audio that when you're on the screen, we need to, see you guys and hear you, know that our connection is good. So, yeah, it was mainly text messaging at first. And then when they would fire up their cameras, then we could actually communicate with them through Quick Link, like how we're doing now through Zoom.
And you said you guys were using Lyrics, which is just the one way. Is that what you guys were using on the phones that you sent out to the players?
Yeah, correct. So the coaches and the GMs were using that Lyrics system that would be sent to us. And then from there, we had to use a combination of, our other technology, but mainly it was D-Tags that was sending the paths to Bristol.
Okay, so what were you using Quick Links for?
Tags is, how do you spell that, Kara? D-Tags?
Oh, yeah, just, it's all caps, DTAGS.
Thanks.
So Quick Links was used in the NFL selection show, and that was our communication with the team. So the coaches, well, yeah, I guess coaches and GMs. It was kind of a mixture of both for the selection show. And then on Quick Links, they could use their laptop or their phone. So we just sent them a link, and then that was a direct connection to us. And then that's what went through Oklahoma City and then to Culver City.
And that's video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just quick question. So all of your stuff that was going back and forth was all IT based, and then it went to ESPN or whoever, and that went out broadcast?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Kara, you said there was 4 of you?
Yeah, 4 producers.
And so you would speak to, like, you got 6 different teams or something like that?
Yeah.
Those were your teams. And then who was calling the final show? Who's the producer for the final show that went live?
So Bob was our producer here, calling the final elements that would go to Bristol. For ESPN, I'm not sure who our producer was that Bob was communicating with, but on our side, Bob was the one making sure, he was talking to ESPN to figure out what feeds that they wanted. Like I said, if there were trades or something like that, we had to move some teams around, and then he would confirm with them, when the correct feeds were in the right path and ready for ESPN to take.
Okay. And every location was just one camera?
Yeah. So one iPhone camera, and although the guy from Arizona was pretty funny because he moved his camera around, I think Kingsbury was his name, and he was in that like really nice house in Arizona, and he kept moving the camera around for different shots. He's like, you guys want this shot? So like Bob was saying, you want the shot of the mountains, or I got this cool artwork that I can show you guys. So he was trying some different, yeah, exactly. The fire pit in the back. So yeah, he was trying some different things for us, but most of the time it was just their one shot, and it was, yeah, one camera for a head coach and one camera for a GM.
Thank you.
Hey, Kara, so for your camera kits, you guys sent out iPhones and the circle lights and a tripod, and then a tripod for the iPhone?
Yeah. Yep.
Was that anything else in the camera kit?
I don't know for sure.
That's
the
a good
document
question.
that the NFL sent us was just like a PDF, and it was pretty simple. It just seemed like phone, and but I can look back and maybe send that, like screenshot that bit to you just to see if there's any other information. But from what I recall, I don't remember that. Anything else.
I mean, I've been working on a project where our client sent out 500 camera kits, and they sent out the Logitech Pro with like 2 lights with tripods and then the earbuds. And what we've been finding is that the earbuds are not, the audio off of the Logitech camera is better than the earbud quality. So we've been having them, keep them charged and handy if they want to use them, but we're most likely, in most cases, not using them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, we just used the audio from the phone, was the best. We had a lot of coaches were using headphones. Some of them, it seemed like it worked out, but most of them, it didn't. It seemed to be more of a problem than anything else. Plus, NFL's sponsorship is Bose, and of course they all had Apple heads. So we tried to tell them to take them out, but I mean, most of the coaches they didn't really care. They wanted to use their Apple product stuff. So that was kind of the biggest thing for us on that. But yeah, it just seemed like we could take the audio straight from the camera or the laptop or whatever. It worked a lot better.
Well, I love your story. Mine's not as cool. I'm not doing live NFL draft stuff, but I have to say there's this interesting, we're getting tours. I've seen more beautiful backyards of executives' homes and artwork, and helping them get the shot right and telling them to move the printer behind them. And, can you give us a tour? We find pretty backdrops, and there's this interesting social thing that's happening where people are just, there's this, the veneer is being let down, and it's really been an interesting experience. So I'm having a lot of fun on it.
Yeah, for sure. I especially like the coaches that their first, we would tell them when they would set up their cameras, we're like, we're not sure this shot's really great. Like, don't you have another part of your house? And they were like, no, it's fine. And then after the first day, when, it was really cool that ESPN was saying, oh, look at all these people's different homes, and some people with their families and some people are not, and look at all this stuff. Then it was funny to see the coaches and the GMs who then changed their camera shots, and they're like, oh, I can do better than that. Like, I don't want to.
Well, they don't want it to be so sterile. They think, oh, I don't want anybody to see into my personal space. And then they realize that there's this real personality that can come through with your shot. And it's just been really interesting. And then when you start talking about what to wear, and they like start telling you their favorite color shirt, you're like, wear the purple shirt. You look great.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And that's where all the people person skills come in, Nance.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, that's beautiful.
That's my
Chris. That's awesome. Jennifer, this is a perfect conversation that I want to have, because what the chat room was like, tell me more about the kit. And that was kind of my ask. One of my asks right now is, I just got an opportunity to produce for somebody, and I have a handful of keynote sessions, and they're like, because my husband got a kit, because my husband is presenting. What a dream for me to have my husband send this producer in a box kit with the ring light and the camera and the microphone. I was like, oh, who said that? Who is that? Tell me more. What's their name? What's their business card? What's their website? Like, I was so into who in the hell sent this to you, and who's producing this, and why don't I know, and how come I can't work for them? So my client is like, your husband, because I know my husband, they did what? Can you send us the email? Can you tell me what they said to him? Can you tell me what they told him and how they set up the shot? So the ask is, yes, we all want to know what gear you sent. Jennifer, what gear but you knew what worked and didn't work. This is so cool. And then what you say to them, like, this is maybe another conversation, or maybe it's an email. That was one of my asks today is gear. What was it? And it was an iPhone, a tripod.
It sounds like it's different. I mean, I was asking for like a week. I'm like, what's in the camera kit? Where are the specs? Is there like a thing that, and it was like, there's no specs. It's a Logitech Pro. It's a 4K Logitech Pro. If they sent out these, I bookmarked that on Amazon. They're sold out. I was like, oh, maybe buy stock in Logitech because everyone's going to want those cameras. But
and the ring lights.
And I looked at the ring lights because I was trying to get somebody, they were going to secure a CEO in Australia. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to ship it to him in time. We're recording this Friday. But the lights they're using are like these two little stands, tripod stands with lights. I can send you the links after for the stuff that they sent out, that ServiceNow sent out. That's the client that I'm working with. And they're working with a event management company called KCI out of Canada that did a lot of the logistics and sent out like 500 kits, and then they'll send out another kit. And in the kit, it was just the lights, the Logitech camera, and earbuds.
And the earbuds were a bust.
Sorry?
The earbuds were a bust, right?
The audio was better off of the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barry, you guys sent out a lot of kits at Opus, right? Barry?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, they've kind of been a variety depending on the vendor, but they send anything out from a GoPro to a Logitech to the QuickLink boxes, which is kind of a different version because I think the QuickLink that you're referring to, Kara, is just the browser that they go into, which is a lot like the vMix. They just go into a link, they use their own webcam, and they go into it.
Yeah.
Whereas the QuickLink ST500s and the I don't think the 150 does it, but the ST500s are an all-in-one box that has a RoboCam with a monitor and the lights built into it. It's like a whole unit you just set on your desk. But yeah, those are the type of kits that we've been employing. And then of course it goes all the way down to just using their own laptops if they don't want to pay for the kits as well.
It's funny you say vMix. I'm having a vMix demo tomorrow.
Yeah,
vMix.
I'd
like to join that.
Yeah, we found that's been
some new technology. It's great. Sorry,
yeah,
Barry.
it's been the strongest platform that we've seen so far. We've tried Ecamm, we've tried OBS, we've looked at Wirecast as well, but vMix ended up being the strongest one, and it's been the most solid. I mean, all of them have their little hiccups, but I think that seems to be the front runner for now. We haven't found anything that's been.
Yeah, John Mims hooked me up with some guy in LA who I don't know who seems fabulous, and he set this whole thing up and some call, and I'm going to be the executive, and we're going to figure out how to make because I have Bethel Bird will be on it also, and we're going to have like teleprompter and like speaker mode for like a presenter with a cue light, the speaker timer, and just figure all that out tomorrow. It's going to take us all.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun.
It'll be so fun. This is a video I will play back because I'm listening. I'm trying to take notes. I'm learning so much. Selena, I see that you joined us. So Selena also is working right now on a show. And Selena, I just want you to tell us, like, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? Like Jennifer York, you said, you're talking to people about what they should wear and what their background looks like, and you're helping set up these, I think it was 400, you had 10 million breakouts or something, right? Is that you?
So I was in charge of, so working for Microsoft, so local Seattle company, which is great because we're all supposed to be socially distant, but they are going digital and they're doing virtual events through June of next year. So everything's going digital. So they still need to hire breakout producers. And so we are managing the broadcast for breakouts for various Microsoft sessions.
And physically, what are you doing? Like literally tell us, because you're one of us, you're a producer. Selena's in Seattle, she's a producer. What does that mean?
Well, and you'll probably hear kids in the background. So that's just the reality these days.
It's also
right?
mom.
It's also mom. I am reaching out to the presenters beforehand, getting their content. So I play content manager beforehand. Also talk to them about making sure there are no weird posters behind them, making sure they have no one else in the house is doing Netflix, that they have everything that might take any bandwidth off of their network for their session. Then we'd go through rehearsals. So I'm sitting in a room with, they call them a TD, but I like a switcher. There's a whole bunch of these guys that live in this area that do sports broadcasting. And then also a technical person. We're using Teams, which is the Microsoft product. So there are certain technical things that the IT guy has to do, like various, like pin the desktop to the computers that we're using in our rooms. And we have six stations that are set around, 6 feet apart. And we do an 1.5 hour rehearsal. Then we record the final rehearsal. And we play that in case there's any issues for their actual presentation. Like one guy Comcast has shut off, slowed the bandwidth in their neighborhood. So he pre-recorded and we showed it, and that was his live breakout. So that's kind of what I'm doing beforehand: content, meet the producers on site, do their rehearsal, record their final rehearsal. And then for show day, these happen to be just 1/2 hour long, so they're super fast and dirty. Call the show like you were calling a show, or maybe more like what Nancy, you do, more broadcasting. So that's the part I'm kind of learning.
Wow. Selena, thank you for taking time out, because I know you're super busy, but I was like, Selena, can you just tell us what you're doing? Because we all need to know what we need to do, what we're going to look like. What's this new world? So.
Well, no, thank you for asking. I'm the super flattered. Plus, I'm really happy to be working and learning something new. And I think the group of folks in Seattle, we've set ourselves up to do this for all Microsoft projects through next June. So, I mean,
badass.
Knock on wood that
That's
it's all
really
going to
cool.
work out.
So my client today said, Nance, I just need you to, do what you normally do for us and just kind of steer the ship and produce this keynote for us. Okay, I handle carpet and stage and play-ons and graphics. Like, what? I don't normally do this. So I'm selfishly wanting to know what the hell Selena's doing, because I don't know what I'm about to do. And I said, I don't know what I don't know, but I got your back, and we'll figure it out, and I will take notes and I'll share with you all. And I want you guys to know that you should do that with all of us. Like, I hope that this is somewhere we can all learn. That's why I wanted Kara to tell me what she's doing, so you all could hear of how we, who are normally touching people and are on stages or in big corporate ballrooms, can transition to what our new broadcast life is going to somewhat look like.
Can I ask a question? Because I have to go to another Broadway stage managers meeting. Have you all upped your internet in your homes? I get some audio dropouts. I upped mine a little bit, like the higher end residential internet. But I talked to Spectrum and they said, oh, there's a higher business one, but that's $60 more a week. I just was wondering what everybody else has done.
Well, that was actually going to be my question to Kara. When she was dealing with the NFL people, the coaches and all that, obviously they're probably making enough money to have very good IT packages, but Selena touched on it. Did you have to up anybody's package to be able to carry the iPhone traffic, or was it going over the cellular network, so it was okay, or what was your experience with that?
Yeah, there were some that most of the coaches, they had okay setups, as you mentioned, probably have really good internet, so they were all right. But there were a couple that were really bad, and we were testing their internet speeds from here, and we could see that they were terrible. So we would have to up them on our side. I don't know how Nate was able to do that, or if he had to communicate with the coaches and have them do something on their end. But yeah, there were definitely some that were really bad, really pixelated. I think the head coach for Minnesota Vikings, he was at his summer house in Kentucky, and it's like in the middle of nowhere and on a ranch somewhere. So that was really hard to deal with if they were in a location that didn't really get great internet. So yeah, that was definitely an issue. And I'm glad that we had the 3 or 4 days to test everything beforehand, because we could tell them in advance, like, hey, you have to up your internet. And just like some of the guys that didn't want to change their camera position, they were like, oh, it's not a big deal. And then when they saw themselves on ESPN and that it was all pixelated and wasn't that great, they immediately were able to fix what they wanted to fix. So again, that was like on the tech side with with my coworker Nate. But yeah, there were definitely some that we had to up their internet because it just wasn't good enough.
Got it. One more question before is you had talked about making videos and pushing graphics for the commissioner, were you pushing that live to videos behind, to monitors behind him, or was it prepackaged things you were, Dropboxing to him or thumb driving to him?
Yeah, so prepackaged things for the most part. All of the videos with all of the musical performers or performances, those were cut here in our Raleigh office. So all of the footage was sent to us, it was cut, and then we would put it on box for ESPN to download, and then they would play it out of their systems, their control rooms there in Bristol. So that was for ESPN, and then the graphics that we had at the commissioner's house, we actually sent one of our staff members to his house that he worked on NFL events before, so he knew the commissioner, and we sent a playback system with him, and he actually set it up in Roger Goodell's house. So, so yeah, that was kind of a different setup there.
I gotta run, I'm so sorry. I'll see you all next week. This was fantastic. Thank you so much, Nancy.
You're very welcome. You guys, if you have to leave, I want to let you know that next week I'm going to shoot for some legal advice for our contracts. I had some independent contractors ask me, what did you have in your contracts? Do you have a contract as an independent contractor? And then I'm both. I'm a company and independent contractor. So I'm trying to get some legal in here. Force majeure, did you have it in your contract? Did it hurt or help you? Like, I got all kinds of questions that I don't know how to answer. So I'm trying to get legal advice on that. Barry, you sent me an awesome stage manager. Here's some ideas of what you'd have in our tech backpack. So Barry, I would be happy to post that. I don't know if it's a mass email. That's something I want to consider. And then also Barry just mentioned, thank you, Barry, that 4 p.m. is 4 p.m. local is high internet time. Like people are all probably talking to their families at this point. So
yeah, we just kind of learned that from a couple of different people that have been doing this nonstop for the last couple of months. That I guess even in this time that there's still a routine going. Kids still are out on a learning schedule, and that's kind of the time of day they've been seeing the highest traffic. And so they've been kind of paying attention to that metric, and it doesn't matter what time zone, but it's just something to keep in mind if you're doing an event or if you have a presenter coming from a certain location, just to keep that in mind, that's typically the highest streaming time.
Fascinating.
Can I ask one question before we go? Or just a thought. I'm hearing all what sounds like everybody's virtual events that they're working on are remote, and the kits are being sent out, and the 2 different events, if I'm lucky enough to get on them this year at the end of the year, for me, I will be flying to a studio, speakers will be coming to the studio, we're shooting in studio. So is that, I don't really know, that's my experience so far. I haven't even done them, I have to learn a lot about it, but what's just the consensus? Is it like 50-50? Is most of the stuff going out as camera kits and being prepackaged that way, or?
Yeah, I mean, depends on what level of production they want and the volume of it, right? Some of the shows we've done have had 6 presenters, and some of the stuff that we have on the books later in the summer have hundreds of presenters. Mm-hmm. And so, it's just a matter of whether they want to pay that money to do that. And, Selena was talking about some of the Microsoft stuff, which we're also engaged in because part of the Opus acquisition was CRG in Seattle, which handles all of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And so we have a lot of events on the docket with them. And if any of you have ever worked with Microsoft Teams, that is also a robust platform in itself, in that it can do a lot of presentation and switching and handle multiple inbound feeds. So I think it just varies in terms of what they want to spend. Since we work with the Googles and the Amazons and the Microsofts, we're trying to make sure that we do deep research into their own tech, because that's going to be their first request, is to use the stuff that they already have. And we're just trying to figure out whether it's viable or not. One of the things that we just heard recently is Amazon is actually going to start to leveraging Twitch platform to be more business focused, which it hasn't been in the past, because we started researching that, and if you've never been on Twitch before, it's a whole other universe. And it's really just like not meant for what we do. But I think that Amazon is kind of like, hey, we've got this great platform and we can leverage it. So they're working on trying to make that more usable for the corporate sector.
Okay, thanks, Barry.
Are you guys involved in the event that was supposed to be live in July in Las Vegas and is now virtual? I'm wondering if Selena, you and Barry are involved in that.
I don't think I'm involved with that. I mean, I think our event management team has done a lot of that. Our production team hasn't been involved in a ton of that. So now we're being asked to come in to support some of it because it's a lot of virtual things. But that's largely been an event management lift
I was supposed to be on that show.
I think this is Selena. I think I will because those of us in Seattle, we did one last week. We're doing Build next week, which is another big one, and they're going to repeat this model. So I think they'll just do the same thing and hire the same people since now we know the system have done it twice to do their big show in July and then their big show in September. And hopefully, personally, pick up a lot of the little ones, the little high-level, C-level ones with high touch. I mean, I'm hoping that this will save my year.
Yeah, I hear you.
Good luck, girl. Yay.
Well, just lucky that I live in Seattle. I mean, luck of the draw, my friends.
Hey. No problem with that. Well, this was amazing. I thank you so much, Kara, for sharing, as well as Jennifer and Selena. If you guys want to hit me up with questions for next week, and if you have a legal advisor or somebody that you think would like to add to this conversation, I have a couple feelers out. I don't know if they want money to talk to us. My CPA didn't want anything. He just wanted to talk to us. So if you guys have any legal connections, like, oh my God, my friend's an attorney. He would love to tell you about your contracts. I would love to hear about it. It's my dog. Sorry.
Oh, boom.
Working from home. It's Amy's fault I have this dog. She made me get him.
I did.
I would love to know that. I think as independent contractors, Amy, you just sent me a private message. It is really important that maybe we change our terms, right? Get some money up front, which I normally try to do as tempo with all the contractors I send out. So it's a good protection and it's something we should start talking about. So send me your questions ahead of time. Send me people you have the contacts ahead of time. I'll take that. And thank you. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.